Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and today we're once again going to be taking a look at the map of the non-liquidating Sears and Kmart stores as of Monday, July 25th, 2022. No stores are currently closing as of now. However, I figured it would be pretty appropriate to do an update video as we have not yet had any closing announcements. Now, of course, knock on wood that no more closing announcements do happen, but anything is quite possible. Before we go over the map that was created by Dead and Dying Retail, let's go over the list of the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores as of Monday, July 25th, 2022. And to make this list even easier for people to read, I have classified and I've divided it up with Kmart Mainland United States, and I've done Kmart off Mainland United States to classify where each of the locations are on the list. So, the non-liquidating Sears and Kmart stores as of Monday, July 25th, 2022, total of 9 Kmart locations, 16 Sears and Roebuck stores, a total of 25. That's right, guys. 25 Sears and Kmart stores remain. That's about 1/4 of the store fleet left. So, in Kmart Mainland United States, we have the Kmart store at the Kendall Lakes Plaza Shopping Center in Miami, Florida, the Kmart store at the Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey, and that store is unfortunately required to be closed on Sundays because of the Bergen County blue laws that prevent this retailer from opening and operating in that location on a Sunday. So New Jersey now does not have a Kmart store that does operate on Sunday. The last Kmart to operate on a Sunday within the state of New Jersey was the Kmart store at the Delco Plaza Shopping Center in Avenel, New Jersey. And then the only other Kmart store in the mainland United States, it's the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York. So this is Kmart offland United States. So these are the following Kmart stores that are not part of the mainland United States. The Kmart freestanding store in Tauman, Guam, the Kmart store at Plaza Las Americas Shopping Center in Hatoré, Puerto Rico, the Kmart store at the Sunshine Mall in St. Croix, United States, Virgin Islands, the Kmart store at the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in St. Croix, United States, Virgin Islands, the Kmart store at the Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States, Virgin Islands, and finally the Kmart store at the Lockhart Garden Shopping Center in St. Thomas, United States, Virgin Islands. And we get to Sears, so this is Sears Mainland United States. The Sears store at the Burbank Town Center in Burbank, California, the Sears store at the Sun Valley Shopping Center in Concord, California, the Sears store at the Webster Town Mall in Stockton, California, the Sears store at the Whitwood Town Center in Whittier, California, the Sears freestanding store, which is located in Miami, Florida. I believe that is in Coral Gables. So I do have to update that freestanding store, Coral Gables, Miami, Florida. Okay, and then as we move on with the map, the next Sears store is the, let me actually just put the cursor down here real quick. Coral Gables, I don't know why that's that spelling recommendation, I do apologize. Okay, and the other stores that are on the list, we have the Sears store at the the next Sears store, it's the Sears store at the Florida Mall in Orlando, Florida. Then finally, the only other Sears store left within the state of Florida, it's the Sears store at the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Then we get to, these are all single, by the way, in these states respectively. The Sears store at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree, Massachusetts. The Sears store at the Francis Scott Key Mall in Frederick, Maryland. The Sears store at the Newport Center Mall in Jersey City, New Jersey. The Sears store at the Newberg Mall in Newberg, New York. The Sears store at the Friendly Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. The Sears store at the Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, Texas. The Sears store at the Westfield South Center Mall in Tukwila, Washington. And also, finally, the Sears store at the Valley Mall in Union Gap, Washington. And the only other Sears full-line department store in the off-mainland United States, it's the Sears store at the Plaza Las Americas Mall in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now, let's take a look at the map. So we're going to go from west to east, starting out with one of the 5 remaining Kmarts that are offland United States. That's a total of, or no, I'm sorry, there's 6 Kmarts. This is one of 6 Kmarts off-land, mainland United States that still exist. It is north of the Antonio B. Juan International Airport, and it's the Kmart store in Tuaming, Guam. The shopping plaza does not have a name, and this is one of only a handful of Kmarts left to have a Little Caesars Pizza restaurant inside the Kmart store. So a very rare find indeed. So. Okay, and as we move along on our little map here created by Dead and Dying Retail, there are no more Sears or Kmart stores left within the state of Hawaii, so we're going to skip right over the state of Hawaii, and we're going to start on the Pacific Coast with the Sears store at the Westfield South Center Mall in Tukwila, Washington State. This is the last multi-level Sears store in the state of Washington, the last Sears store in the greater Seattle metropolitan area, and the last Sears store at a Westfield-owned property. So lots of lasts for this Sears location, unfortunately. And again, it's the Sears store at the Westfield South Center Mall in Tukwila, Washington State, in the greater Seattle Tacoma area, and pretty close to SeaTac Airport. Okay, and as we move southeast, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Valley Mall in Union Gap, Washington. This is the last one-level Sears store within the state of Washington State. That's basically what Newberg is, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So, and again, it's the Sears store at the Valley Mall in Union Gap, Washington. Okay, and as we make our way down the Pacific coast of the United States, we're next going to hit the state of California, which actually has 4 Sears stores left. The state with the most Sears stores, because Florida lost Fort Lauderdale earlier this year, unfortunately, and because the developer bought it and they're going to be putting apartments. So, but anyways, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Sun Valley Shopping Center in Concord, California. This is one of 2 remaining Sears stores in the greater Bay Area of California, and it's the Sears store at the Sun Valley Shopping Center in Concord, California. Okay, and as we move a little bit east, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Webstertown Mall in Stockton, California, just across the street from the Sherwood Mall Shopping Center. Okay, and we're going to make our way down the Pacific coast of the United States, and we only have 2 Sears stores left in Los Angeles. The next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Burbank Town Center in Burbank, California, the last Sears store in the greater Los Angeles area to be connected to a shopping mall. So pretty significant right there. And again, it's the Sears store Burbank Town Center in Burbank, California. The next Sears store that is the only other Sears store in the greater Los Angeles area is at the Whitwood Town Center in Whittier, California. One of the 2 remaining last Sears stores within the greater Los Angeles area. And after this one in Burbank Sears will no longer have a presence in the greater Los Angeles area, which is unfortunate. Okay, and as we make our way down the Sunbelt region of the United States, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, Texas. This is the last Sears store within the state of Texas. The only reason I see this one remaining, Sears Mexico, I think, is definitely playing a big part. But again, this is the last Sears store within the state of Texas. Okay, and as we make our way across Texas and we, move along, we're actually going to go down here, and then we're going to make our way up the East Coast region of the United States. So the first Virgin Island that we're going to hit, it's the St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. This is the Kmart store at the Mall of St. Croix. I'm not sure. I think this was a different shopping center at one point. This Kmart store in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. Let me actually check the list real quick. I believe it is at the I think it's the Sunshine Mall. I believe that's the name of the mall. I think they must have renamed it. But this Kmart's pretty unique. Why? Because it has a Kmart pharmacy, which you cannot find in the United States at all anymore. A Little Caesars Pizza, and it's a Kmart store. So it's basically the full Kmart store, Kmart pharmacy, and the Little Caesars. You know, the guy that says pizza, pizza in the ads, that's what this Kmart location has. And it's located in St. Croix, United States, Virgin Islands. Okay, and as we move east on that Virgin Islands, we have an Office Max. I don't think we have any more of those. This is the Kmart store at the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in St. Croix, United States, Virgin Islands. This Kmart store does not have a pharmacy. However, this Kmart does have a Little Caesars pizza in it as well. So if you want to take a flight all the way down to St. Croix, United States, Virgin Islands to see that Kmart, by all means, go ahead. Because I know that there are some crazy Kmart fans that are on the internet just dying to get on a plane and fly down to these remaining Kmarts that are still operating to this day. Have not yet announced liquidation, which is pretty interesting to say the least. And as we go a little bit north, we hit the St. Thomas, United States, Virgin Islands. And the next Kmart store that we're going to hit, it's the Kmart store at the Lockhart Garden Shopping Center in St. Thomas, United States, Virgin Islands. This does not have a pharmacy, nor does this have a Little Caesars. It's a pretty basic Kmart in the Virgin Islands. That's basically it. However, just a few miles east, the Kmart store at the Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States, Virgin Islands, has a Kmart pharmacy. I don't know if I wonder if they closed the Little Caesars in here. They might have actually closed the Little Caesars. I don't know if the Little Caesars is still operating at this Kmart location. But again, it's the Kmart store at the Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States, Virgin Islands. Okay, and then before we hit Florida, we're going to move over next to Puerto Rico, which is literally right here. So we're going to hit, these are the only two full-line Sears and Kmart stores left in Puerto Rico. We have the Sears store at the Plaza Las Americas Mall in San Juan, Puerto Rico, literally directly across the street from our next store that we're going to hit. It's the Kmart store at the Plaza Las Americas Shopping Center in Hatoré, Puerto Rico. So both are literally across the street. This is the last multi-level Kmart that does remain. There are no more multi-level Kmarts after this one does unfortunately shut down, because all of them are basically one level at this point, except for this one in Puerto Rico. That's about it, really. And then because the last multi-level one to close was one in the Bronx, and that was early. That happened last year. That one unfortunately shut down because Urban Edge terminated the lease for that one, and they also terminated the lease for the Sears at Sunrise Mall. So this became the only multi-level Kmart after the Kmart store in the Bronx multi-level closed for the last time. And again, that's the Sears store as well. Okay, so now that we've gone through all the territories, we're now going to make our way up the East Coast part of the United States, and we first are going to hit the wonderful state of Florida. So, because Key West does no longer exist, the next Kmart store that we're going to hit, it's the Kmart store at the Kendall Lakes Plaza Shopping Center in Kendall Lakes, Miami, Florida. This is one of 3 Kmarts that remain in the mainland United States. I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth. This Kmart, I believe, is the most vulnerable to close. And the reason I say that is because they're really subdividing the store. They're actually really taking their time with it. So, but this Kmart is up for lease. It's really sad of what's happening to this store. I mean, I think its days are numbered personally. They could very well just have a quick 2-week liquidation, and they could easily close the store pretty quickly. It would be sad. It would be a sad ending, but at this point, I would not be surprised if they announce something maybe this month, or maybe they announce something next month that this store is going to close. I think this Kmart in Miami, Florida's days are sadly numbered. And not only is this Kmart's days are numbered, I mean, all the Kmarts are numbered at this point, this is the last Kmart store in the entire state of Florida. So imagine that. It'll be really sad, though, when it closes, because the Floridians will definitely suffer the loss of the Kmart store. I mean, obviously, we know that they go other places, but it'll definitely be a loss in the community that is fascinated by the way Kmart's operations worked. So the only Sears left in Miami, Florida, it's in Coral Gables. It's a 2-level Sears. It's the Sears store in Coral Gables, Florida. It is one of only a handful of remaining Sears stores that are still considered freestanding. This was never connected to a mall. This, I believe, is the oldest Sears operating, and has been here since, I believe, the 1950s, if you could picture that. Again, it's the Sears store in Coral Gables, Miami, Florida. And the Kmart store is located at Kendall Lakes Plaza Shopping Center in Kendall Lakes, Miami, Florida. Alrighty, and then the next Sears store that we're going to hit, because Fort Lauderdale unfortunately shut down in January, It's the Sears store at the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And there it is. I believe this is still a Tallman Mall. Very expensive department store. So we shall see what happens with this Sears down the road. And again, it's the Sears store at the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Alrighty, and then we're going to make our way to the mid-region of the state of Florida near the Orlando area, near Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, yada, 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 etc., etc. However, there is a Sears store that does remain here, and it's the Sears store at the Florida Mall in Orlando, Florida. Alrighty, and now we have visited every Sears store in Florida, so we're going to make our way up the east coast of the United States, and the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Friendly Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. This store has been significantly downsized. This is the last Sears store in North Carolina, and once this Sears store does close in North Carolina, that will be the end of Sears within the state of North Carolina, unfortunately. And it's the Sears store at the Friendly Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. I think Greensboro and Coral Gables, Miami, Florida, I believe are the last two freestanding Sears stores within the mainland United States, if you could picture that. Alrighty, and then the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Francis Scott Key Mall in Frederick, Maryland. This is the last Sears store within the state of Maryland, and just like North Carolina, once the Sears store does close, there will be no more presence of Sears within the state of Maryland, unfortunately. All right, and then the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Newport Center Mall in Jersey City, New Jersey. This is the last Sears store within the state of New Jersey, and the last Sears store pretty much close to New York City, if you could imagine that, unfortunately. And it's the Sears store at the Newport Center Mall in Jersey City, New Jersey. All right, and then we are going to boomerang to Long Island real quick, and then we're going to boomerang back to New Jersey because the next store that we're going to hit, it's the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York. This was known for many years as the Martha Stewart Kmart because Martha Stewart did make public appearances, I believe, at this location because it was right out in the Hamptons, and I believe she owns real estate in the Hamptons. And now she sells her stuff at Macy's, so the tides have definitely turned for that Kmart. But at one time, this was known as a prime location. You could see Martha Stewart walking in here, and it was I don't know. I guess it was known back in the day for Martha Stewart to make public appearances because it was that close to the Hamptons. So, and once again, it's the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York. Alrighty, and then now we're going to boomerang back to New Jersey because we are now down to the last three locations to view. We have the Kmart store at the Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey. This is the last Kmart store within the state of New Jersey, required to be closed on Sundays because of the Bergen County Blue laws that prevent all non-essential retailers from operating their doors on a Sunday. It did happen to be open today, but it was closed yesterday. And again, it's the Kmart store at the Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey. All right, and then the next store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Newberg Mall in Newberg, New York. This is the last Sears store within the state of New York, just like Frederick, Maryland, Newport Center, and Friendly Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, or Francis Scott Key Mall in Frederick, Maryland. So, I'm sorry, just like Francis Scott Key Mall in Frederick, Maryland, Friendly Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, and Newport Center in Jersey City, New Jersey. Once the Sears store does close at the Newberg Mall in Newberg, New York, that will be the end of Sears in New York State, unfortunately, because Sunrise did close, and Brooklyn also closed as well. All right, as we go over that Interstate 84 bridge, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's going to be all the way in Massachusetts. It's the Sears store at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree, Massachusetts. This is the last Sears store within the state of Massachusetts. Once the Sears store does shut down, that will be the end of Sears in the New England region of the United States, and as well as the state of Massachusetts as well. So, Alright, so guys, that is about going to do it for this video for all of the non-liquidating Sears and Kmart stores. If there happens to be another closure, you could definitely look forward to another video of this map that was created by Dead & Grind Retail going over the liquidating and non-liquidating locations. So, anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. Link to the map and the list will be located in the video description below, and that will be it.